Life on Earth is an ever-unfolding story. There's drama, comedy, action, and tragedy. Now the story has reached a pivotal point, and what happens next depends on what we humans do. Clearly, we're capable of great things. We've travelled untold distances, explored uncharted territories, invented new worlds. But now it's time to turn our attention to our world, a world in which we share so much with our fellow life forms. We also share a future that today, more than ever, we have a responsibility to foster and protect. Conservation isn't a job, it's a life commitment. It's built on a foundation of curiosity and wonder, and the bold scientific achievements of the past. And lives on in the pioneering work and dedication of those honoured by the Indianapolis Prize. These are the heroes of Earth's ongoing story, the ones upon whom so much of our future depends. They're not just our dreamers, but also our doers. They are the ones with the will to make a difference. Thanks to them, we still have the one thing that every good story needs: hope. That is why we're here. The next chapter is ours to write. This is the Indianapolis Prize.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us as the Indianapolis Prize announces the inaugural recipient of the Emerging Conservationist Award. My name is Mike Marker, and it is my honor to moderate today's announcement. Now, the Emerging Conservation Award is a biennial award recognizing conservationists under 40 years of age with the talent and drive to make a significant impact on a species or a group of species. Established to help support their work, the Emerging Conservationist Award aims to encourage the courageous, talented, and dedicated people who devote themselves to protecting Earth's wild things and wild places with the $50,000 grant to advance their efforts. This award is part of the Indianapolis Zoological Society's commitment to animal conservation. And it's the Indianapolis Zoological Society that launched the Indianapolis Prize in 2006. Today, you'll hear from our winner and those who know her work best, Dr. Pat Wright and Dr. Russ Mittermeier, two of our winners' mentors and heroes and past Indianapolis Prize winners as well. You'll also hear from Dr. Rob Shoemaker, President and CEO of the Indianapolis Zoological Society. Now, two housekeeping matters. Members of the media, if you would like to start including questions in the chat that we'll take towards the end of our announcement, please feel free to do so at any time. And if you're viewing this today, the best viewing option for you is to click on presenter view or presenter mode so that you can see the full screen. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Rob Shoemaker for the announcement of the inaugural Emerging Conservationist winner. Dr. Rob?
Thank you, Mike. In 2006, the first Indianapolis Prize was awarded. Since then, we've welcomed new classes of nominees, finalists, and winners, and we've distributed more than $5 million to advance conservation efforts. In 2021, we announced the creation of the Emerging Conservationist Award, made possible through generous support from the Kobe Foundation. The Emerging Conservationist Award aims to keep promising conservationists active in their work to save animal species across the globe. This award will serve as a catalyst to energize the next generation of animal conservationists as they conduct their very important work. The 2023 Emerging Conservationist Award winner and recipient of a $50,000 cash award, is a Peruvian primatologist and anthropologist. She is the director of Yunkawasi, an organization that works with Amazonian and Andean communities to conserve threatened species through sustainable economic development and protected area management. Please join me in congratulating Fanny M. Cornejo, the winner of the 2023 Emerging Conservationist Award. Over the past 15 years, Cornejo has devoted her professional life to primate conservation and research. She leads Yunkawasi, a conservation organization she founded with her mother, the late Fanny Fernandez Melo. She is a PhD candidate at Stony Brook University in Long Island, New York, where she focuses her studies on primates and large mammals, ecological issues, and protecting forests to improve the livelihoods of local indigenous communities. Fanny's joining us from Lima, Peru. Fanny, your talent and dedication to conservation is clear and inspiring. Congratulations on being our inaugural Emerging Conservationist Award winner.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rob. Thank you so much to the Indianapolis Prize, Indianapolis Zoo, the Covey Foundation, and everyone that has made this award possible. I feel so overwhelmed, so humble, so excited. This is a wonderful recognition, not only to the work that I have been carrying throughout my life, but mainly it represents everything that Yunkawasi has been working for the last 16 years. This amazing team of over 30 people that day and night work together with our allies on the ground, without whom it wouldn't be possible for us to achieve all of our conservation successes. This award represents all of these efforts, all of this articulated work that we carry together. I am so excited about this. And again, thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Fanny. You know, the Emerging Conservationist Award recognizes the success and impact of an individual. And while it's true that motivated individuals have the power to create lasting, meaningful change, mentorship and collaboration are vital as conservationists like Fanny work toward a brighter future for animal species. We're going to hear from two heroes and mentors of Fanny's in a minute. First, let me just do a quick reminder that if there are any questions you want us to take later in the announcement here, please feel free to put them in the chat for members of the media. First, we're going to hear from Dr. Pat Wright. Dr. Wright is the winner of the 2014 Indianapolis Prize, a professor of conservation biology at Stony Brook University, and founder and director of the Center Valbayo Research Station in Madagascar. We weren't sure if Dr. Wright was going to be able to join us live today, so we have a recorded video that we're going to play first, but we're also thrilled that Dr. Wright was able to get out of her earlier appointments today to join us and be part of this conversation. So if we could now, let's play the video from Dr. Pat Wright.
Congratulations, Fanny. You're a great conservation hero. You work with the communities. You're a wonderful scientist. I'm so proud of you.
Fanny, we're all so proud of you. It must feel great to hear those kind remarks from your mentor and hero. What comments do you have for Dr. Wright this morning?
I'm so excited to hear these words from Pat. Pat has been an infinite source of inspiration for my work. She's such a strong woman, such a leader, such a role model for myself in this world of conservation where the role of women is becoming more and more important. I wanted to go to Stony Brook and study under her, mainly to be able to learn from all the wonderful successes, all these amazing conservation results that she has achieved in Madagascar. And I was so fortunate to be able to have her by my side, to be one of my mentors, and to be able to count on her, to be able to discuss, to brainstorm, to have all of these ideas. I feel very privileged to be able to count her among my inner circle.
That's terrific. We now like to go to Dr. Russ Mittermeier, live from the Beetle Studio at the Global Center for Species Survival at the Indianapolis Zoo. Dr. Mittermeier has worked with Fanny through his organization Rewild, where he serves as Chief Conservation Officer, and he is also the winner of the 2018 Indianapolis Prize. Dr. Mittermeier, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. First of all, Fanny, felicitaciones. Congratulations on this great honor. I can't think of a more appropriate recipient for the first ever Emerging Conservationist Award. I first met Fanny when she was in her early 20s, back in 2007, and I was immediately impressed by her energy, her enthusiasm, her knowledge, and her commitment. Since then, I've been with her in the field a number of times, and I've seen firsthand what she's capable of. And her organization, young organization, Yunkawasi, is already one of the best conservation organizations in all of South America. And I'm especially delighted that Fanny started her career working on the Peruvian yellow-tailed woolly monkey, one of my favorite animals in the world, and a species that I rediscovered in 1974, 49 years ago, and which has become, thanks to in large part to Fanny's efforts, one of the great conservation success stories in South America. So Fanny, congratulations once again, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Fanny, certainly like to invite you to respond to Dr. Mittermeier if you'd like.
Thank you so much, Russ. Again, it's such a privilege to be able to hear these words from you. Since the very beginning of my career, my very first interest in primates and conservation, of course, your name always pops out. You are my conservation hero, and having had the privilege of getting to know you since very early in my career and be able to count with your mentorship, your support, your guidance, your ideas has been really impactful in the trajectory that my career has followed. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you. And I'd now like to open it up for your Q&A so that we can hear more from Fanny and more from Dr. Rob. I see that we don't have questions populated yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our conversation and our Q&A with some questions that Fanny and Dr. Rob have received in some embargoed or advanced interviews they've done with members of the media from around the world, including Peru and Indianapolis and other geographies. So we'll start the conversation with some of the questions you've been asked by members of the media in other places who are reporting on their stories today in this exciting news. So let's just start, Fanny, with you to talk a little bit about what this award, what this recognition means for you, both from the $5,000 award, but also for how it will help advance your efforts and your organization's efforts.
Well, receiving this award, it's a wonderful honor. It represents a work that all of us here in Peru have been doing together to be able to advance conservation action and be able to get conservation success stories. We're really hoping that this award will take us to the next level, to be able to show the world the things that we can do and to be able to receive more support, to be able to continue doing this amazing work. I'm really proud of my team. And I'm really excited about, and really hopeful also about all the conservation commitment that all of our partners have on the ground. So this award is definitely a recognition to all of this synergy, all of this excitement that we can see in our work every day. That is challenging. Like my team knows, it's difficult. It's our sometimes rough times. We have, the political context. We have climate change. We work with nature and people. All of these are moving pieces. It can be very difficult, but this is a source of hopefulness, inspiration, and we're really excited to be able to count on this, to be able to have like a platform to take us to this next level as an organization.
Thanks, Fanny. Dr. Rob, I'd like to ask you to expand a little bit more on why this award is so important. I know that you have a personal story in terms of conservationists that you've known that had some challenges continuing on in the field, and this is a point of impact for you. Could you talk a little bit more about why the award matters so much?
Sure, happy to do that, Mike. If I think back over my own career and people that I knew very well, some of the field conservationists that I respected the most and who were doing just phenomenal work made it clear that it's obviously very difficult. You're hearing Fanny reflect on that. One of the things I've heard a close friend talk about was sometimes how isolating it can feel, and the demands can feel a bit overwhelming in terms of carrying on the work and fundraising and getting the word out and so on. That's very easy to understand. So with this award, we really wanted to do two main things. When it comes to emerging conservationists or conservationists who are making a great impact, but still relatively early in their careers, we wanted to give them that foundation, both in terms of visibility and opportunity to get the word out, but also, as you mentioned, a $50,000 grant to move forward with. We wanted to provide that bit of encouragement and make sure they knew that they are greatly appreciated. Their work is tremendously valued, and the world cares about what they're doing. So that was paramount in this. But when I think about it in terms of the Indianapolis Prize and the constellation of awards that now fall under the Indianapolis Prize itself, this really completes the cycle, I think. We have an award for a conservationist, again, relatively early in their careers. We have an award for people who are very well established and have done remarkable things in their careers already. And then, of course, we have the Jane Alexander Global Wildlife Ambassador Award for people who are working to advance conservation in much broader circles. And by the way, I would acknowledge that some of those winners are on the call today and have joined us. You mentioned Pat Wright and Russ Mittermeier, of course. We also have finalist Carl Safina. We're just immensely pleased and honored to continue to advocate for these folks and help them as they do their remarkably important work.
Thanks, Dr. Rob. Fanny, I want to come back to you. And I know one of the things that's been important in your career has been the fact that you started your organization together with your mother. And this is certainly a moment of pride for you and for your team. It would be a moment of pride for your mom as well. So maybe you could reflect a little bit for those on the call about what this means to you and what your mom might say in a moment like this, recognizing your terrific achievement.
Well, it is certainly, it feels like everything was worth it. It has been a difficult path. Working on conservation is certainly a thing that varies every day. It's challenging. Sometimes things don't come out as you expect. Some things get more complicated. This feels like, even though all of these rough patches, and even though it has not been easy along the way, it worked. And we somehow have found a sort of combination of strategies that work on the ground and that we have been able to get results. I'm sure my mom would be extremely proud, extremely excited. It's funny when people say that I have a lot of energy and optimism, because my mom, I feel like she was like 10 times more energetic and 10 times more optimistic. And she always, pushed me to always believe that everything is possible, that we can achieve everything that we set our minds to. So certainly I think about her every day. When things are difficult, I have conversations with her in my mind, seeking for her advice. And especially in times like this, it feels like I said, it feels like things are working and, we're into something. We should keep doing these things and we should remain hopeful and optimistic. It's complex. We're facing this climate emergency, this biodiversity crisis. Sometimes for us that are in this world where we know the facts, we know the statistics, we know how things are working, it can feel a little bit like a void, like we really need more people to join us. We need the whole world to really think about this and really take action, and to take action now, So moments like this, seeing all of you people coming together, seeing how we're having this platform, seeing how the media is so interested in this topic, it certainly gives me hope. And it gives all of us that are here on the ground working hope for the future.
Thanks, Fanny. You mentioned hope and optimism and the challenges that are inherent to your work. Maybe if you could speak a little bit to, some of the most challenging things or the most challenging thing you face in working to save species.
One of the things that we really need to make happen is to get everyone involved. When we talk about conservation, it's not only about saving a species per se or protecting a forest or creating a protected area. It is also about changing economies. It's about changing our relationship with nature, and something that we as a society need to achieve. And that is a huge challenge, because sometimes it feels like it's all of us folks. We already know what needs to be done, but we need to push beyond our bubble. We need to get to involve everyone, because we cannot really expect to have a sustainable, inclusive, real conservation action and results if we don't transform economies, if we don't make sure that the economic activities of local producers are going to be impacting less the forest, but are also going to be providing them with even more benefits and improve their well-being. It is when we as consumers are drinking a cup of coffee in the morning and we're really thinking where that coffee is coming from. Is it coming from conservation commitments from local producers, or is it coming from the deforestation of the rainforests of Asia or of the Amazon? So these are the things that we really need to get people thinking about, and that's the big challenge. A lot of the wonderful projects that we as Yunkawasi and our partners have in the ground are related to transforming economies, are working with cocoa, with chocolate, with coffee, with yogurt, with dairy, with handicrafts, with honey, with so many different products. But we're reaching the point where this is not going to be sustainable if the world has a demand for these products, if the world doesn't appreciate and really think about where the coffee that I'm drinking every morning comes from, where this chocolate that I'm eating when I feel a little bit blue is coming from. So this is a massive effort, being able to burst our bubble, reach out everyone, get society to really think about this. That's a major challenge. Because right now, I feel that a lot of us are doing amazing things. We are including people in the action. We're getting local communities to really appropriate the conservation work that they are leading now. But now we're getting to the point where we need society to change. We need economies to be transformed. We need our relationship with nature to improve. We need to acknowledge what happens when our relationship with nature is broken. COVID is an example of that.
Thanks, Fanny. Dr. Rob, I certainly want to get your reaction to some of what Fanny's laying out here. I also want to go back to the top of the announcement where Sir David Attenborough just stated hope. Hope is so important in this, and the work that Fanny and others are doing give us some of that hope, right? Could you talk a little bit about, in your role, Dr. Rob, what makes you hopeful, and any reaction you want to provide to Fanny's remarks to this point?
Thanks, Mike. My immediate reaction is I'm just so taken with how smart Fanny's remarks are. They're just so on point. And what I love most is the focus on combining conservation with local people and getting people to change their relationship with nature and getting people to understand the connectedness. I can recall a time, at least in my career, when that was not the model that was being espoused. And it was much more a model of put up the fences and keep people out and don't engage with local people or don't engage with people at all. And obviously it's a failed model. It has to involve local people at every level. And in every way, Fanny gives me confidence and hope in her approach. And when you say what gives me hope, I guess for me, when it comes to preserving biodiversity and global conservation, it's knowing how many good people there are doing really important work full-time for their careers. And that is happening constantly around the globe. It is very easy to find discouraging news about conservation, but that doesn't mean that that's all there is. There are lots of successes. There are lots of great stories. There are lots of reasons for optimism and for hope. You have to look a little bit deeper, but they're absolutely there. And for me, having the opportunity to interact with people like Fanny, our other prize winners, our finalists, those are the people that give me remarkable hope. And I'm so happy that we can amplify those voices and amplify the experts, because those are the people that need to be telling their stories to give many people encouragement and hope and optimism. So I couldn't be happier for Fanny. You're the perfect person for our inaugural award. If I had to create the perfect person, it would be you. And it's absolutely outstanding. And of course, we cannot wait to meet you in person in Indianapolis at our gala in September. So a wonderful, wonderful morning this morning, and yet there's more to come.
As we start to close out today's announcement, Fanny, I want to ask you one or two more questions. You had mentioned how your mom's hope and optimism was such a driver and remains a driver for you in your work. Could you share with us a little bit about a success at Yunkawasi that has given you hope, some success that you've seen in the field that really drives you and you want the group to know about this morning?
One of the things that is the most challenging is to really see change. And this is something that takes a while to measure. It goes beyond the scope of the projects, beyond the scope of what donors are funding. These are things that you only see after being somewhere a while. So we're working, for example, with a campesino community in the tropical Andes of Peru. Its name is Corosha. Actually, Yunkawasi started working there since our very beginning back in 2008. And the story of Corosha has been, well, entwined with Yunkawasi, entwined with my mom, entwined with me throughout all of this decade and a half of work. And something that really gave us a lot of hope and a lot of the feeling that we're getting somewhere were two main things. First, that when we started working in that area, the Andean bears, which is the only bear species that we have in South America, was not present in the area. It has been heavily hunted, it couldn't be found. So in 2015, like 7 years after we started working there, after the local community committed into not hunting large mammals, committed into not burning the natural shrublands and grasslands that are up in the Andes, after 7 years, we got bears back. And now Corosha is a hotspot for bears. We can see them all the time. You can see up to 6 Andean bears at the same time, because it has turned into a haven for bears. In other nearby communities, unfortunately, it is still heavily hunted. There is still a lot of conflict between the local economic activities and Andean bears. But the change of the people of Corosha, how they stopped burning the forest, how they stopped hunting, after 7 years got us results. We can see bears there now. And the second thing is the local leadership, because at the beginning, it is people from the outside that were coming in, we're helping local people translate their wills, their way of living, and kind of frame them within the conservation strategies that we may be bringing in place. But this is complex, because what we really want to foster is the actual appropriation of the project. We want the owners of the territory to be the ones that lead the conservation action. And this also, it's a very complex and long-term process, building leadership, building the local capacities, being able to get local people that it was already in their hearts, but be able to, for them to get it out and for them to have the tools to make conservation work real. It's something that also takes a while. So again, through these 15 years in Corosha, we are now extremely proud that there is a conservation association. It's named the Conservation Association Golden Bear, that is led by a wonderful woman, Miriam Portocarrero. And she's leading a group of people, mainly women from this local community, that they all get it. They can give even more complex speeches of what I'm sharing right now. It's clear for them because it's their territory. And now, beyond all the activities that they are working with, trying to mitigate the conflict with the Andean bear and try to change their economies through handicrafts and coffees and honey and all of these other things, this year, with the support from all of our allies, they are now embarked in this adventure where they are now sharing with other communities. It's like local people talking and being an example, a role model to other local people, for them to also join the venture, change your lives. This is important for you. It's your land, it's your ecosystem services, it's your future as well. So now this is an amazing project now that for us is such a source of pride, because it's median, it's all the local people of Corosha leading this. It's not just Yunkawasi and our partner from the outside. Now we feel that this is a specific activity, a specific leadership that we can be like, it's moving. We got it. Now we need to replicate it in so many other places. But knowing that we have this result, that we have these partners, is again an infinite source of hope, of optimism, of knowing that, you know, we can do this. All of these emergencies that we're facing, this is something that we can overcome. We just need to keep working to not lose hope and to keep, you know, working hard, be resilient, and, you know, focus on the end goal and keep moving forward.
Fanny, you're so inspiring. We could certainly listen to you all day long, but I think we're going to close out today's announcement, and we want to congratulate you again on being the 2023 Emerging Conservationist Award winner, our inaugural winner. Congratulations again. You're so deserving. This marks the conclusion of today's announcement. For media members who are still on with us, you'll receive a media kit with both English and Spanish news releases, photos, and video content that speaks to Fanny's terrific work. And for anyone else who wants to learn more about the Indianapolis Prize and the Emerging Conservationist Award, you can visit indianapoliszoo.com/prize. Fanny, congratulations again, and thank you everyone for joining us this morning for this terrific news. We hope you all have a great day. So long.